Good evening, everyone, and welcome to today's episode of Unrealistic Real Estate Investing for Beginners. As you know, we make no mistakes over here. We are perfect real estate investors, and if you make mistakes, that's on you. We all know that's not true. Let's talk about my biggest mistakes I made with my glamping site and what I would have done to avoid them to begin with. Yeah. Nice flipping choice. What's going on, folks? It's Garrett from the Nice Flippin' Choice channel, back again with another glamping video. This channel covers all real estate investing, but is particularly focused on glamping because that's what I'm going through right now. Being the amazing human being I am, and I have never made a mistake in my life, I am absolutely perfect. You wouldn't be able to relate because you are not perfect like this. Am I doing it right? Is that good? You know what? I'm going off script. I gotta give these people the real. Every real estate investor has many ups and downs to their journey. More downs in my crypto portfolio right now. But I'm going to dive into some of the largest mistakes I have made in my real estate investing journey, particularly on this glamping project I'm building right now. So that way you can avoid them and I'll avoid them on the next time. Now, these are in no order of particular importance, but these are just 5 things that I realized I wish I would have known before going into my glamping project, and they apply to a lot of different real estate things involved. The first thing I wish I would have done is tried to time the market. Now, I didn't do a terrible job at this because I did realize that you can never time a market being a real estate agent for the past 5 years. But I did hold back a little bit, and I do regret it not buying even a year or two in advance. I had run plenty of numbers, had got all my data in a line, had been doing research for a while, and still didn't trust my gut all the way with a lot of things I was making, and trusted the numbers with the data. You can go so far into the numbers that you sometimes can get analysis paralysis, where you're kind of just locked in and don't really even know which way to go because there's just so many numbers floating at you. You don't know which one's the right one, which one's the wrong one. Some of them, look good on paper, and then you get to the property and it's a totally different situation because there's little factors you didn't pay attention to. Once I opened my eyes to the perfect property not being in front of me, and there may be 1 or 2 small things that I'm gonna have to figure out a way around, that's when a lot of the really good opportunities did come to me, and I really did start to be able to pick out what style of place I was looking for and what are some specific things that I could not live without when I bought the property and what are some things I could live with. But never find the perfect property. So with that being said, if there's 1 or 2 small flaws with many major positive things going to it as well, you're probably gonna need to let those big things outweigh the small things and just keep it moving. You never wanna settle for something that isn't what you're looking for, but you're never going to find the perfect property, I guarantee it. The second thing that I wish I would have done more research on is the add-ons for each specific glamping structure that I was looking at. To make sense of this, I'm going the geodesic route, and that's what I ended up coming to the conclusion that worked best for me. Now, with these geodesic domes and the company I specifically went with, Pacific Domes, they offered an add-on of something called ThermoShield paint, which you could put on top of it, which would help cool down the place and keep different things locked in between the heat and the cooling system to help regulate the temperature within inside. Sounded like a great idea, and I did a pretty good amount of research on it. The one thing that I didn't analyze before, though, was adding on the extra paint was about an extra $2,000, give or take, a little bit here and there. But then the shipping increased by another $1,500 after I got the paint added on, everything within the order. And I didn't even analyze this became another $4,000 on top of what I already paid. Now, I have not painted with this ThermoShield paint yet, and it might be the best thing that I've come up with. I chose 3 different particular colors to do a little layer of each that I wanted and kind of design it. But the thing was, I jumped the gun and bought this paint before I really even had my full theme and design all the way out. Now we've kind of pivoted to a new design and theme, and I'm not sure if this paint is even gonna fit with what we're trying to do with the dome. I may be stuck with about $4,000 worth of paint that I may be able to use on another dome, or it may never even get used. I might have to sell it. I don't know what I'm gonna do with this paint. I might use it, I don't know. Stay tuned, like, subscribe, and stay tuned to find out what I do with this paint. But I kind of just jumped the gun with the add-ons, just being excited. Do your research on the add-ons. Don't forget about shipping involved with different things. Get some reviews, and you don't always have to get everything right when you purchase your big purchase. Now, the third thing kind of ties into the second thing, but I'll keep it going with this one. Don't buy all your stuff too early, just being anxious. That's what I was. I was excited. I was anxious. I started buying things off Amazon. I started finding deals for little knickknacks, little decorations, all this stuff. And the site hadn't even been close to completed yet. I hadn't even found the contractor yet, and I was already starting to get ideas, which was, you know, that's part of the passion we have when we're doing something like this, is you need that passion and that that good anxiousness to really drive you to, you know, keep going each day and finding new things. But you also don't want to be too anxious like I was.
Passion fruit spray?
Fruit spray? Sure.
And then you'll be able to really hone in on the theme and design that you're wanting and not maybe spend money on a couple extra things that you didn't necessarily need. Now, the fourth thing I wish I would have done more research on my glamping site before I even started was probably buying more land than I even thought I needed. That's initially what I even did when I first set out on my mission about a year or 2 years ago. I was looking for about 5 acres, maybe, things like that. I quickly realized I was gonna need 10 plus at least, maybe 10 to 15. I ended up buying 11 acres in a great area, great part of town, things like that are very close to the lake and the national forest. But even in hindsight,
I might have wished I would have got maybe to 20 to 30.
You know, there's a big seclusion factor out here too, but those extra acres would really add on a lot more opportunities that I think I could do, especially if I'm going all in on this glamping site. If it's one and you're trying to add on other sites, it may not be as particular of a problem to add on more land later. I would go as big as possible as you
That's what she said. Excuse me?
could with the land within your budget and all your means. Run all your numbers before you just start throwing extra money to get land and lot parcels and things like that. Looking back, I wish I would have got a little bit more, but I'm very happy with what I got, and I always can expand later. My initial thing should have definitely been maybe 20 acres if I could, maybe more. And the fifth thing I wish I would have researched before glamping is figuring out my lawn maintenance before. I grew up in the country. When I was in high school, I lived out a little further in the country. I moved to the city of Houston, worked there for about 10 years doing music and real estate. I still work in Houston all the time. But now that I'm back out here, I forgot how many times a lawnmower will break down, how much land there is, how much time it takes to really do the maintenance of areas like this, especially when you're trying to have a manicured places for your glamping sites. I bought a nice fancy new $6,000 commercial lawnmower. It's already broken down on me 2 or 3 times. I forgot how much my dad used to struggle with these lawnmowers when we were in high school and middle school, and we had 3 or 4 acres, and he used to struggle all the time trying to cut that because the lawnmower would break down, just different things. I used to end up cutting a lot of it too. It's kind of peaceful, I like it, I'm not against it, but looking into it, I probably should have researched a little more on if I was gonna get a lawn person to come out here help me with stuff, if I was gonna buy it, do it myself. I've been doing it myself, and it, you know, I'll circle back with this. This is probably not the most exciting topic ever, but I will circle back with this and give my input on, like, you know, how much money I've saved from buying the lawnmower to hiring somebody else out to, you know, just different things like that. So these are my 5 things I really wish I would have, you know, researched before I started my glamping site. I'm not gonna sit here and lie like every other single YouTuber I see doing different things like this, acting like everything's perfect all the time. I put a ton of research into this. I've been a real estate investor and agent for years, and I still made quite a few mistakes just early on buying. These negatives definitely are outweighed by all the positives that I did find in the area and the place that I did buy. So in the end, I am very pleased, but like I was saying at the beginning, nothing is perfect. I'm sorry I had to go off script. I know my Q guy back there is just going crazy right now because I did not listen to anything he said, and I had to give you all the real. That's what I do. So with that being said, please like, subscribe, stay in touch with the channel. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments. And until next time, I'll see y'all then. Peace. Did I do all right on the cards? Did I get everything?